Greetings. I'm Evelyn, Saphier, director at the Iva Smith Gallery in South Hammond, also known as the Yellow Barn, and I'm here with Billee Wolff, and we're going to be talking about the photography of Martin Wolff. Martin's photographs are going to be featured here in the Iva Smith Gallery in the summer of 2024. So Billee, just give us a little background about Martin.
Well, Martin was professionally very analytical in his job. He was a systems programmer and a performance tuner for mainframe computers. So photography was really a hobby, and it was a great release from the whole analytical world. And he always loved the beauty of nature and being with people. And so a large part of his photography is of people and nature. He also loved the play of light and shadows. So especially in the last few years of his life, he did a number of photographs with shadows and the play of light.
And they also have an incredible quality of stillness.
Yes, stillness was very important to him. He loved quiet, he loved stillness, and somehow he lived through having two daughters, especially in their teenage years. But yes, stillness and quiet was a very important part of his life. I mean, Walden was from high school on throughout his life a beloved book of his, and the quiet and the love of nature that Thoreau brought out was, always touched his heart.
Yeah. The unique thing for me and part about Martin's work is that it comes from a place of a center of such stillness. While Martin never aspired to be a famous photographer, I feel like the heart of photographic greatness is there in the artwork.
Yeah, no, he definitely did not aspire to become a famous photographer.
Yeah, so we are extremely honored that Billee has agreed to share Martin's artwork. And you're going to be seeing, well, tell us, what are we going to be sharing in this show?
Well, you'll be sharing, he had a great love of India, and especially down in South India. And here is a photograph of Arunachala, which is a sacred hill in India that he was attracted to, and really spent much time there. So there's those kinds of things. There's nature, there's bugs. He loved bugs, animals. I'm surprised he didn't become an entomologist, actually. And also some of his shadows and reflections, and just some of his people. He used to somehow get people to take these relaxed, interesting photos, and he most loved taking photos when you weren't aware of it. And then he'd get your permission afterwards.
To me, it feels like a moment-to-moment reflection.
Yeah.
On the sacred essence of the small things that we see every day.
Yes.
And so it becomes a gift. Each photo or image becomes a gift because it reminds us of that.
Yes.
And that love also comes out in his portraits of the people he met in India. They're not just photos of interesting subjects. Martin connected with the most, well, no one on the street is common, but the most humble people on the street Martin would connect with. And we're going to have those portraits in the show also.
Yes, he did have a way of doing that. In fact, there's a photo of two young girls that he takes a picture of with their mother's permission. And they were just delighted to have their picture taken, and they were just two, probably lived in a one-room hut. You know, they were the common people, if you will, there at the time. And he, you know, would just find the joy and the delight that they had. And even just taking their photograph, the girls were so delighted, and it comes through in the picture. And he was able to pull that out quite often of people.
Yeah. And Martin, this is such a beautiful, like, range of empathy and gifts that Martin had. You know, in his professional life, Martin was a brilliant analyst of computers and who knows what all. I actually heard he got 100% on the New York State trigonometry exam. I kid you not. And here, Martin was this great theorist and analyst, and his wife, Billee, is a nurse midwife. So you must have kept him grounded in the world there.
Perhaps. To clarify, I'm a nurse that has worked with midwives. I'm not actually a midwife, but I have, you know, worked for many years with midwives. And yeah, I mean, it's true that I think one of the things that he did appreciate and that we worked together with was I did help keep him grounded, which was sometimes annoying.
Yeah, those who are, I've noticed that many people blessed to have a long, happy marriage have a way of complementing each other over time and melding into sort of the two become one and separate and one and separate. And I believe you met when you were teenagers.
Yes, we were teenagers. We were both in high school at the time.
So, this has nothing to do with Martin's artwork, but when did the lights go on?
Well, our very first date, I was 14, he was 17. We dated on and off through high school. He went off to college, and I guess in my senior year of high school was really when the lights went on. And I was 20 when we married, and it was a long, happy marriage. Yeah.
Well, so here we're coming to the end of our interview, and a story of two people who help support each other in the developing of their gifts. And so thank you, Billee.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's really a great honor and pleasure.
Yeah.